Hello, welcome back to the Off-Grid family. I was out in the garden the other day and I noticed that duckweed has gone very, very white, and that's when it's sort of becoming very unhealthy and starting to die. So I'm going to go through all the steps I need to do to hopefully bring this thing back to life, and I'll take you along with me. Let's get on. Before you watch this, if you could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it.
Right, okay, you're going to want a container of water for the duckweed you collect, and a tight weave sieve. Now the idea is we're trying to just get the top layer of duckweed off, because underneath it there's a large quantity of algae, and this can sometimes help the duckweed, but most often it steals the same things and various bits and pieces out of the water that the actual duckweed needs. So this is just a preliminary to separate them out if possible, but it's not a major step at the moment because I'm going to separate it out in a minute from the actual receptacle. And this is the algae I'm talking about. If you have a look, it strings together, and it's also a sign sometimes that the duckweed has grown long roots to get to the better nutrients that it needs. So either way, we need to get rid of it and just stay with just the duckweed. Whenever I've done this, I've always tipped the leftovers on the garden, because there is nutrients in this that the duckweed just doesn't want, and might as well give it to the land. There's no point throwing it down a drain. Right, and it's pretty straightforward now. We just give it a rudimentary clean. Doesn't, just with water, no soap, nothing like that. We don't want to introduce anything that might accidentally kill the duckweed. So just a bit of elbow grease. Well, and the spatula from the kitchen. Do not tell Crystal I used her spatula. She'd kick me in the head. Right, you want to fill up your original container, ideally with rainwater, but I'm using tap water because that's all I've got. And then tip over your duckweed that you'd separated out, making sure to get it all off the sieve as well, because there's a lot hidden in there. And just shake it up under the water and then bring it out, and it should be relatively clean. Now we employ the tried and tested fork method. What this does is this allows you to get all of the algae out without getting too much of the duckweed. You'll always get duckweed on it, and you could spend hours separating it out, but you just aim for the darker patches, and that will be where all the string algae will be, just under the surface. And we don't want things fighting with our duckweed, and the more we can get rid of, the better in the long run, because hopefully the duckweed will take over and there will be less space for this algae to actually grow. It's time consuming, but it is relatively straightforward. Just take your time, and the more you get out now, the better off the duckweed will be. Both the duckweed and the algae both fight for the same things, the same nitrogens and phosphates and so on. Right, as with any job like this, you have to decide when enough's enough. You could keep going all day and end up with 3 bits of duckweed, but get all of the algae out at the same time. I just decided, enough's enough, and this is sort of what you end up with, which is quite a lot of algae mixed with duckweed, and it's very thick, and it loves the nitrogens as well, so you don't want that. Right, we're back out in the garden, and here you can add nitrogen in the form of cow manure. If you've got solid cow manure, put it in a sock, tie it up and let it hang from the side, whatever you want, or use artificial if that's all you've got. Okay, the last thing to remember is place in a place that does not get too much sun, and in a couple of weeks you should notice a vast improvement.
Okay, there we go. That should hopefully allow it to blossom back into its beautiful amounts. It's just obviously the water had got a bit too full of one chemical and not another. They need lots of different things like nitrogens and things, so maybe it was just depleted of that, but we'll see. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to see pictures of it over the next few months as it sort of recoups itself and starts to get better and spread. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.